Hi, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Steve Hansen, and this is kind of where we get together and visit about racing. And so far, the topic is still NASCAR and what the weekend of Daytona was. And so we'll start off with the Craftsman truck race. Typically, they get, I guess you'll call criticized for being a wreck fest and that type of thing. But that race was one hell of a show. I thought it was probably one of the better ones of the four all weekend. Chandler Smith got pushed by Ty Majeski to the win. Ty winds up fourth. Giovanni Ruggiero, hopefully I said that right, got second. He was kind of bummed about that, but then he would go on to have a little better race the next day, which we'll cover in ARCA. Cletus, our guy Cletus, spun out on lap 7 and hit the wall. Thankfully, he was okay. Has a little more, so he said it himself, had a little more to learn about the trucks and how they work versus the ARCA cars. But then Smoke, the other guy that we were kind of following, Tony Stewart, got knocked into the fence by a guy that lost control, and you know that happens with Daytona. So Smoke got knocked out of the race. But anyway, congratulations to Chandler Smith. That was a really cool win for him. Then we'll fast forward to Saturday in ARCA. Now, I didn't get to watch much of that race, but Giovanni Ruggiero, who was kind of bummed that he didn't win the truck race, won the ARCA race. And I didn't get to see much, nor have I been able to watch the replays of it. But Cletus had a pretty good showing in that one. He wound up 11th, so that was pretty cool to see. And then the other note I had was Bobby Earnhardt, who is Dale Earnhardt's grandson, got 9th. So that was pretty cool to see. He's been working hard to try and forge his way in racing, and glad to see those two finishes. And then we go to the O'Reilly's. I keep wanting to call it the Busch or Xfinity, but we go to the O'Reilly's race Saturday night, which was not real great. You had, it was a wreck fest. I mean, for everything that they criticized the truck series being, that's what that race was. And there were several comments made about perhaps there were people in that race that shouldn't have been in the race. But this is what you have when you have drivers who have money to be there and not necessarily the qualifications to be there. So I'm just going to leave that alone for the time being. But that was the commentary being made on Saturday. And so the winner, Austin Hill, pretty well owned the field as per normal. Their super speedway program, RCR, Richard Childress Racing, pretty well owns that series. And as far as the super speedway and Austin Hill, yeah, kind of walked away with it, if you will. I mean, like I said, there was pretty much a wreck fest with it and over aggressive driving, I guess you could call it. But it is what it is. But that was the Xfinity, or I'm sorry, the O'Reillys. So now we fast forward to the Daytona 500, and everything that I'd gone over about fans and this and that. They had 150,000 people there, and I kind of looked around yesterday at a lot of responses from fans and different podcasts and things, and everything was a big thumbs up. And so congratulations, NASCAR. You've started to address the fans and creating an atmosphere. Even celebrities that were there were impressed with the product that was there. And it's a good start to kind of bridging the gap back and hopefully building NASCAR back up to where it was before we kind of plateaued with some of the administration that was in play there. So we fast forward now to the race, and I've seen a lot of stuff about the fuel mileage thing and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of topics about the Daytona 500, everybody, and I'm not going to spend a half an hour of your time yakking about every one of them, but I'm just going to skim the tops of it. First of all, I'll start with our pole winner, Kyle Busch. I was so happy that he won it. He got caught up in one of the stages. I believe it was the second one, had his car dinged up a little bit. and it didn't handle quite like they wanted. But I to that topic, I'd seen a couple. Well, Kyle just don't have it anymore. He don't have it in him to forge to the front anymore. Folks, I'm here to tell you, the older you get and you hit those walls, soft walls or not, that shit hurts. Okay, so you kind of learn from that and you drive more carefully. If some of the other kids driving them cars would take that into consideration, they wouldn't be shoving each other around. But that's yet another topic for another day. But I don't fault Kyle. He wound up getting 15th out of that mess on Sunday. Wound up starting towards the back, and if you heard his in-car audio, you heard that, well, get up and get up. He said, why do I want to be the first one in the wreck? And he was right. So he fell back at the first stage and stayed out of that mess, and he got caught up in the second stage. But at the end of the race, he was not in it. So we fast forward to mid-race or towards the end of the race, where you had the three Toyotas kind of blocking traffic, if you will, and everybody was, of course, the telemetry, now we can see how much throttle they have and how much throttle they have. Well, there's been several conjecture out there on how to fix it. NASCAR has a deal where if they call it altering the finish of the race, and I'm paraphrasing, but if teammates are blocking, NASCAR don't let you do that. Well, what the hell was that? Okay, I'm just saying there's rules in place for what was going on. So if there were people back here that didn't want to, go 50% on their throttle, then they should have been a way to get up to the front. But again, nobody wanted to jump out because nobody wanted to wreck, at least that stage of the race and stuff. So my feelings are you want to do away with that kind of racing. Number one, do away with stage racing. Okay, do away with it, and that takes care of itself. That being said, probably not doing away with stage racing. So Kenny Wallace had an idea of a mandatory pit stop, that nobody loses their spot, come in, gas up. That takes care of it. He was looking at ways that they could do it without costing teams money. At the end of the day, the one other thing Kenny said was that this was the making of the teams and not NASCAR. I might disagree with that in one instance, simply because NASCAR is the one that built this car that we've got. And while fuel mileage and those types of things has been a part of the sport forever, it used to be if you wanted to save mileage, you sat mid to back pack and just sat there and rode around, and then you come towards the front because you'd save the gas. You didn't hold the whole damn field up for wanting to save gas. You want to save gas, get to the back. That being said, again, that's topics for another day. But fast forward towards the end of the race, they took the white flag. There was a race mid-pack. NASCAR didn't throw the caution flag, and I'm glad they didn't. Thank you, NASCAR. I'm glad you they race back to the flag, if you will. And yes, there was a pileup at the first, and there was conjecture on who was at fault with all that. But thank you, NASCAR, for not throwing the caution flag after they took the white flag, because those that wanted to see it finish under green got that wish. So NASCAR all weekend did not throw the flags when they had typically before in all the series. So NASCAR, thank you for that. So with that, everybody, and by the way, Tyler Reddick won the race, as you all know, in the number 45, which originally started out being Adam Petty's number, and Kurt Busch drove that car until he got hurt in this car that they have now. So congratulations to Tyler Reddick in the 45, and on to Atlanta, and hopefully NASCAR builds on all the good things that they had going on this weekend. But bottom line, everybody, I bitched about NASCAR and this, that, and the other, but honestly, for the weekend, and that was Daytona, I'm going to give them a B+. They didn't get an A yet, but I'm going to give them a B+. We're not going to talk about the Fox broadcast and all that kind of stuff. As I've said before, be thankful we have it on TV. And again, I'm not going to get into all the other rhetoric. But with that, everybody, I hope you all have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the Daytona weekend, whether you were there at the race or watching on television. With that, everybody, have a great day. And always remember, it's better to have raced and went broke than to have never raced at all. Take care, everybody.